I just wanted to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for showing up today, because you showed up for a free webinar. That's incredible. But to me, this is way more significant than that. You showing up to something like this, you're showing up for yourself. You're showing up for your happiness. And like, I can't even express in words how huge that is, because you're sending out that frequency. And so a lot of people, they'll ask me, how do I love myself more? Or how do I get more happy? And honestly, asking that question is the first step, because when you get curious, when you start asking that question, you'll start finding the answers. And I do believe you coming to this webinar was a huge step in that positive direction. And so for that, I absolutely honor you. I salute you. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. So let's get to the good stuff. Now, who here has their workbook printed out? There was homework, an assignment. So the workbook really is going to help. So if you have printed out your workbook, it was in the 3 emails that I sent today as reminders for the webinar. If you guys do have that workbook, bring that out. That will be amazing. It's okay if you don't have it. If you do not have the workbook, a blank piece of paper will work. So all the workbook is it just has, like, I can't show you too much because I have the answers in it, but yeah, it's like this really pretty workbook, and it has all the little things so that you're paying attention, but I'm obviously going to go through all the things anyways. So I'm just going to give you some quick house notes before we get started, ways to make this webinar super amazing. So I absolutely promise to you, for this next hour, I'm going to give you everything I have. You are going to have my undivided attention. I am going to give it to you right now for this next hour. And so what I'm asking is that if I'm giving you everything I have, then could you give me everything you have? So this is going to be really crazy. Turn off your phones. If you are watching this webinar on a computer, turn off your phone. It's going to be a distraction, obviously. And it's just like, if you're half in the webinar and you're half checking out Facebook, it's just, you're not going to get the magical results that I'm promising. If you are watching the webinar on your phone, do not turn off your phone, but don't go on Facebook. Okay. So I also want you guys to just take like a half a second, and I want you to set an intention for this webinar. Like, what do you want to gain from this webinar? What are you willing to let go of? What do you want to gain? Like, what is your intention? Because I really feel like when you have an intention, it kind of tunes your brain to certain things. And when you're watching a webinar or doing any kind of training, maybe not everything I say is going to resonate with you, and that's okay. But maybe there'll be 1 or 2 nuggets of wisdom that just like rocks you, or it opens a door to something that you're going to learn tomorrow. So don't get discouraged. If you hear something that's a little weird and you're like, I don't know about that, that's totally okay. Just keep your heart open and your ears open and your eyes open and your arms open, and miracles are going to come. Okay. So the only other thing is, like, take notes if something jumps out at you. It might not even make sense at first, but just write it down, jot it down. So have a piece of paper, Post-it note, write on your hand, like whatever you got to do, but write down things that you want to know. Okay. So, and I love that Shauna, she said clinical, I have my own doctor on site here, which I love. And she said that clinical scientific studies provide significantly strong evidence that emotions are contagious. Couldn't agree more. When you show up, you see a puppy in a building, everyone's happy. That shit is contagious, no doubt. So write down any questions that you have for me, because at the end of the webinar, we're going to do a live Q&A. So if you're here and you're engaged and you're having a good time, but there's maybe a few things that I didn't touch that you'd like to know more about, we're going to hit that at the end. So don't get discouraged. I'm here for you. I will not get off this webinar until we have all of our questions answered. Okay, perfect. Let's get to the good stuff, guys. I'm so freaking happy to be here. I adore you guys. Okay. Now, I'm just going to throw out something. So I said step 1 was like, if you want to be more happy in life, step 1 is literally just asking the question, acknowledging even that maybe you could be happier, and that's okay. That's fantastic. That's better than okay. So if step 1 is just simply acknowledging that maybe there could be more happiness and asking the question, step 2 is going to be so basic, it might drive you a little crazy. But step 2 is being open to the answers. So I know that some people might be watching this and being like, okay, you're being a pain in my ass because I'm already open. Like, obviously I'm open to more happiness. Like, what the fuck would I be doing on a webinar like this if I wasn't open to more happiness? But Brendon Burchard was talking about this. So we might think we're open, but what does open really mean? If you think of an open field, it is vacant. There is nothing in that vault. Like, it is open. So right now we might be like, yeah, I want more happiness. But our concept of happiness is not open. There's a lot of ideas in that little box that we call happiness. And a lot of those ideas aren't really empowering. Like, for example, a lot of us don't understand a fundamental principle of happiness. Happiness is 100% an inside job. Okay, so a lot of us, myself included, for the majority of my life, I thought that I'm not happy, but if I have, a nice car, a good job, a nice home, a fantastic husband, a huge rock, like if I had all these external things, if people thought I was great, I felt for sure if I had all these things that I would feel happy. And then the horrifying day came that I had collected all of these things that I knew in my head that were going to be my happiness. I had all those things and I've never been more depressed because I had this story my entire life, because I didn't have much growing up, that if I had these things, I would be happy. I accumulated them and I was not any happier. That is when the depression started, because I had nowhere to go from there except for to go within. And that was really scary, but we need to understand that happiness is an inside job. Like, theoretically, you could be just as happy today if you won $1 billion than if you are filing for bankruptcy. Like, we cannot, the simple fact is we cannot control the majority of our life. Like 90% of life, it's just happening and we can't control it. And so if we believe that our external circumstances should dictate how we feel, we're fucked, really, because we can't control that. So literally, we're just going to be a victim of our circumstances. If we can take responsibility and acknowledge the fact that we are the thinkers in our mind. We're the only ones who can think in our mind. And so we have this superpower called perception. So often we feel like life is happening to us. Like, this is happening and it's shitty and all these bad things always happen to us. When in reality, life's just happening. Like, there's 7 billion people on this planet. It's not happening for all 7 billion of us. It's just happening. And we have to take that initiative to really become aware of that and own that and think that, okay, life is happening. How do I want to feel about it? And like, obviously, someone cuts you off in traffic. It's natural that you want to like flip someone the bird and freak out and like be all pissed off. And that's fine. If you want to do that, that's fine. But it sounds disempowering to me. When we are stressed, we're pumping cortisol into our bodies. We are having this little emergency in our body when, honestly, in theory, we could choose to just let it go and get on with our life. And when we were little kids, that's what we did. When we were little kids, we might be screaming 1 second because it's not happening, and then we're over it and we're playing with our toys and life is good again. And so we still have that ability. We've just built up these stories. So when I say be open to the idea of happiness, I'm saying maybe be open to new ideas. Be willing to maybe let go of some old concepts that we might have for happiness that maybe aren't empowering to us. Maybe things that are like me thinking that I needed to achieve things to be happy. Like, that is not empowering because it's not true. So recognize that right now, and I don't know where exactly you are in your journey. You might be, top of your game, just killing it. And you're like, yeah, I could use a level up. Or, maybe you're going through a divorce. Maybe you're going through some financial problems. Maybe there's been some serious loss in your life lately and you're at rock bottom and you want help. And I'm here to tell you from the bottom of my heart that right now, even if nothing externally changes, you can feel significantly better when you've mastered your mindset and you realize that you get to choose every single day how you want to feel. And I hope that doesn't upset you. If it does, just let it go. But that's the truth. You have this superpower of choice. And every single moment of every single day, you get that choice. And that's really freaking cool. It's a little scary because, hey, that's responsibility. but is really cool and really exciting. And it's a huge opportunity when you can see it like that. So that was just like a little pre-disclaimer. Now I'm going to get to the material, because I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if you've read my book, which I have shamelessly plugged behind me. Sorry, not sorry. Confessions of an Ex-Hot Mess. There was a time in my life where I was incredibly depressed. I was depressed. I was anxious. I was medicated for a variety of mental disorders as well as physical ailments. I was in a crumbling marriage. It was brutal. I was in a really dark place, and I started working on myself a little bit. And the second I got the tools to heal my depression, to get out of that, it became my life's purpose to help others that were struggling with the same thing. So I thank you again for showing up, because this helps me with my life's journey and my mission as a human, which is helping other people that might be struggling with the same things I was struggling with. So this is Secrets of Super Happy People. Thank you for joining. Now, I went to a Tony Robbins event in March, and this is probably my very favorite thing that he taught me. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. Tony Robbins talks about our 6 basic human needs. Now, this for me, I feel like a massive part of being happy is understanding happiness. Like, if we don't understand something, how can we manage it? So rather than just kind of flipping everywhere and being crazy, it's like, understand it a little bit. And then the more we understand how it is created and how it works and how our brain works, that is when we can create more of it, right? And so essentially, I'm going to give you the 6 basic human needs, and I'm going to teach you some secrets about super happy people. And it's going to teach you how to generate happiness, because just like a power plant doesn't hold power, it generates it. And we don't hold happiness, we generate it. And so I'm going to give you some things here that are going to give you some things to think about, maybe ways to shift your mindset so that you can generate more happiness. So if you have a pen and paper, or if even better, you've got the workbook that I sent you today, get ready. 6 basic human needs. These are kind of hilarious. They're so true. Number 1 is certainty. Now, we need to absolutely know for certain that we're going to be okay. For example, I'm sitting here. If I wasn't 100% certain that this roof wasn't secure up above me, if I thought the roof might fall down on my head, I'm not going to be able to do a very good job on this webinar. I'm going to be thinking about a million other things. I'm going to be running for the door. We need to feel certain, okay? Now, in a hilarious twist of fate, humans also, completely opposite, we also require uncertainty. So uncertainty being variety. Now, if you talk about one of the most annoying feelings that you can possibly experience, it is the feeling of boredom. Like they put you in solitary confinement as like the worst punishment in prison, because sitting in a room by yourself with absolutely no variety is worse than prison. Like, it's crazy. So we need certainty. We need to feel safe. We need to feel comforted in some way. But then on the opposite scale of it, we need variety. We need a little passion. We need a little something. And so when we can understand that we need both, it becomes a little easier to accept that sometimes uncertainty is a little good for you, even though it doesn't always feel good. Now, the third thing we need to feel for our basic human needs is we need to feel significant. Now, this one might seem like a little egotistical, but I mean, there's no greater feeling than just feeling significant. And that doesn't mean you need to be world famous, but being significant in somebody's life. Like when we are a little baby, we need to be held and loved, or we have a failure to thrive as a child. Like we need that. And so that significance is very, very important. It's literally put into our biology. So I'm going to just jump over to number 4 because it really is in line with significance. We, as a basic human need, we need love and connection. And when I talk about the failure to thrive as a baby, there's no greater example than love and connection. We need that to thrive. We need that to live. And I know some people are like, no, screw it. I've been on too many bad dates. I'm not doing it. By the way, how's this going so far? Like, are you connecting to any of these? Have you guys already heard this? Is this new? Where are we at? So my need for love and connection right now, talking in this quiet ass room, I would love to hear any comments in that comment box, just so I know you guys are here, that I'm not talking to myself. So we do need love and connection. Thank you so much, Shauna. We need love and connection. Now, the next one we need is growth. Now, this is so important. And in my humble belief, this is the one that we really miss out on. And this is the reason why we don't really pursue growth very often, is because we love certainty too much. So when you are growing, you need to get outside of that precious comfort zone. And I know a comfort zone is a very beautiful thing, but nothing will ever grow there, especially not you. And so we need to sort of let go a little bit of our death grip of certainty in order to grow. And I can say for myself, one of the most massive epiphanies and steps for me getting out of my depression was growth. I got on that game train. I read mountains of self-help books. I did seminars. I constantly am growing and evolving, and that never stops. Like when I drive to work, I listen to Brendan Burchard's podcast or an audiobook. Like I'm always growing now. And I honestly believe that that is where a lot of my happiness comes from, because you get this sense of pride in yourself because you're always accomplishing something. And when you set out to do something and you do it, that sends dopamine into your brain. That is a little bit of an emotional high, and it feels good. And so growth, although it can be scary as all hell, it is everything. It makes you feel amazing. So get out there and grow. Now, sixth, basic human need. So important. Again, something radically important in my life, contribution. Contribution outside of yourself. Now, if there's any moms watching this, do I have any moms online here? That you guys get it. Like your life is contribution. It's just like an episode of contribution, which is incredible. Someone for me who lives a rather selfish lifestyle, no kids, minimal responsibility, my contribution comes from doing events like this, helping people, connecting with people, doing life coaching, things like that, where I get to contribute outside of myself. And that is incredibly rewarding. That is more rewarding than probably anything I have ever done in my life. And when I was depressed, I was incredibly selfish. And I'm not saying that those two things are always related, but in my case, they were. I only thought about myself. I only saw myself. I was in this miserable pit of shit, and I couldn't see anything else. And so with that contribution, you start to see a bigger picture, really. And when you see a bigger picture, it's a lot easier to get yourself some perspective on your situation, and it helps you push through. So this is pop quiz. Who has been writing down the 6 basic human needs? This is important. Who's been writing it down? I will wait patiently. Okay, so we have some people writing this down. Now, the reason why perfect. Okay, awesome. So so I will quickly, I'll list them out here for you guys, and then you guys write them down. And the reason why I'm getting you to write them down is because I've got something awesome planned. So number 1, certainty. Number 2, uncertainty. Number 3, significance. Number 4, love and connection. Number 5, growth. Number 6 is contribution. Now, what I want you guys to do, I love you too. Thank you guys so much for the feedback. I love you endlessly. Like I will never explain how much I love you. Now, what I need you guys to do is next to those 6 basic human needs, I want you guys to rate your life on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay? So take a few seconds on each one and ask myself, if I look at my life, how fulfilled do I feel in the area of certainty? Do I feel certain? Do I feel comfortable? Am I safe? Next, how am I rating myself on uncertainty? Do I have a lot of variety in my day? Are there things that excite me? Or am I just doing the same thing every single day, just waiting basically for the end of my life? Not very exciting. It's not very exciting. Significance. Do you have a place where you feel significant? Are you in a relationship? Are you at work? Do you feel significant to yourself? Because honestly, you want to start with a relationship where you should feel significant. Start with yourself, because you are significant. You are so magnificent. And we're just so busy telling ourselves the most ridiculous stories, we don't see that. Another tangent for another time. Love and connection. Do you feel connection? Do you feel loved? Again, with your family, with a partner, with friends, with coworkers, and most importantly, with yourself. Where are you at? Scale of 1 to 10. Growth. Now, I know for myself, there was years where I did not grow. I did not grow. I might have gained some weight, but that's not what I'm talking about. I don't want to hear about your weight gain. I want to hear about your growth gains. So are you challenging yourself? Are you learning new skills? Are you reading books? Are you watching interesting interviews? Are you doing anything? Even going to the gym, that counts. Are you doing something to grow? And are you contributing outside of yourself? So I hope you guys all have those ratings down on a scale of 1 to 10, the 6 basic human needs. Now, what I want you to do is circle the 2 that are the lowest, and those are your priorities. So right now, if you are not feeling as happy as you could be, that's your starting point right there. What things are the lowest, and those are the things. So that is what you're going to do, okay? Now, if you guys need to know, like my biggest ones, it's really interesting because, like, actually, I'm going to ask you one more question before we get started. And that's, just think in your head. You don't need to write it down. Yeah, and like, if you guys want to share with me what yours are, absolutely, I would love to see that. Something I want you guys to be mindful of is, like, so for me, when I was depressed, I put a lot of emphasis, like, everyone has their favorite flavor, right? So there are a couple things on that list that you know in your head are the most valuable to you. And that doesn't mean that they're the most empowering or the best things to value, but they're there. And so for me, my significance was way too valuable. Like, I needed it. I needed everyone to think I was awesome all the time, because I didn't think I was awesome all the time. And that led me down a dark, dark road of needing external recognition, needing to be this, needing to be that, never being myself because I needed to be more significant than myself. And so, and certainty is still one that I hold a little too close. And it's like, if I could let that go, I'd be gone. Like, I'd be doing crazy things all the time. So definitely take a look at that. Circle your priorities, and now you know where you need to start. You've got an accurate map. Okay, now, secrets of super happy people. I promise it to you, I'm going to deliver, okay? So it's the next page on the workbook, if you guys have the workbook printed out. Secret number 1 of super happy people is we are present. Now, please don't get frustrated, because my advice is not going to be things you haven't heard. I'm just going to explain it maybe in a little bit of a different way, because common sense is not common practice, unfortunately. Now, being present, what do I mean? I want you guys to take a quick TO and think to yourself of an amazing memory that you have. So just, like, close your eyes if you have to. Think about a moment that was so incredible. You cherished it. You loved it. It was just, like, magnificent. Now, I just got so relaxed just thinking about it because it's there. Now, I want you guys to think about it for a second, because when you have those memories, I can almost guarantee that you are thinking, you probably don't just remember, like me, my memory was walking down the aisle on my wedding day. Now, for me, it wasn't just I walked down the aisle. I remember what everything looked like. I remember the tears flowing down my face, destroying my makeup. I remember the smells. I remember every moment. And that is because I was present. I wasn't thinking about tomorrow. I wasn't thinking about anything. I wasn't thinking about dinner. I wasn't thinking about anything. I was looking in my husband-to-be's eyes. Like, I literally have goosebumps. Like, it's there because I was present. And the thing is you don't need to be on vacation to be present. And that's the thing. We go on vacation and we're not thinking about work. We're not thinking about dinner. We're just there. And what I'm telling you is you can be present every moment of every day. Like right now, I'm here. Nothing else is going on. And that's why this is so special for me, because I'm here, I'm present. I have gotten to the point where I'm being more mindful. I'm eating an apple and I'm not checking my phone and eating an apple and trying to play with my cat. I'm eating an apple and I'm thinking, how does this feel in my mouth? This is delicious. This is so crunchy. Like, how sweet is an apple? Like, and that is where I am. And this is something that we're never going to master, because our brain is just like this hot mess and it wants to be everywhere at once. And that's what happens. And it's the same thing with meditation. But the thoughts can go by and I don't have to be eating the apple and being like, I'm mindfully eating this apple. And then it's like, oh, what's for dinner? Ah, shit, I'm not being mindful. Just let it go. And it's the same thing in meditation. You just let the thoughts go. It's okay. But make an effort to be more mindful. So if you're on the workbook, you're going to see some fill in the blanks. So I'm just going to read them out. And if you don't have the workbook, that's okay. You can write it down if you like it. But this is why being present is so important. You can only be one place at a time. So you can either be right here in the present moment, or you can be thinking about the past, or you can be thinking about the future. You've got one choice. You can be one place. And that is why our beautiful memories, we were so present, because we weren't thinking about the past or the future. We're like right here. We know this is important. And the thing is it's absolutely madness to be anywhere but right here, because this is literally all that we have. Like, we cannot change the past unless we're on Back to the Future, but I'm not there. And we can't change the future. We're not there yet. All we have is this right now. And that's why I'm so stoked and I'm so proud of you guys for being here, because of all the places you could be right now, you're here dedicated to your happiness. And that is like freaking amazing. So do not rent out your present moment to the past or the future. Be here. This is it. This is the magic. Okay. So how do we like that? How present are we feeling right now? We're in it to win it. Just do a little dance, waiting for some comments. Okay, awesome. I'm so happy you guys are present. I'm proud of you. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And it's okay if you're not present and then you come back. That's the thing. How fast can you remember to be present? And I know a lot of you guys are going to be thinking to yourself, well, I don't want to be present because right now kind of sucks. And forgive me if you're on the workbook, but I just want to run to secret number 3, and then I'm going to go back to number 2, because I think secret number 3 kind of jumps in with presence. Because why do we distract ourselves? Because we don't want to be here. Shit is too crazy. There's crazy things going on in the world. Facebook's nuts. My husband driving me crazy. My boss is a jerk. I'm 10 pounds too heavy. Whatever. We're not happy in this moment, so we distract ourselves. So we're escaping the present moment by focusing on the past or freaking out about the future to distract ourselves. Now, if we could adopt secret number 3, and again, I'm jumping to 3 and I'm going back to 2, so you didn't miss anything. The secret to super happy people is acceptance. Now, this is a hard one because we have 2 parts of our brain. And now, doctor, you are going to roast me because this is fake LK science, but I'm going to give it to you straight from my textbook. We've got 2 parts of our brain. We've got a human part of our brain. We've got a spiritual part of our brain. Now, our human brain does not give a fuck about growth. It wants to survive. It wants to be comfortable. It wants life to be convenient. That's never going to happen every single day, but that's what it wants. It has no interest in being inconvenienced whatsoever. Whereas our spiritual part of our brain, we know we need those growth gains. We know that. We know that we need a little bit of crazy in our lives. We need that uncertainty. We need that growth. And so what we need to do, the only reason we don't accept moments is because they're uncomfortable. Because we have this expectation of how life should go. And that human part of our brain, which is way, way, way too powerful. The human part's like, this is inconvenient. I don't like it. Abort. This day sucks. I'm going home. I'm sleeping for the rest of the day. That's it. So Buddha says it best. Attachment is the root of all suffering. So if you are suffering right now, you are attached to something. So whether that is an outcome, like for me, I've set up this webinar, I've set up all this stuff, and I want this many people here and I want this outcome, I can't control that. So if my happiness is based on this outcome that I can't control, I'm just like shooting from the hip, and I've got no control over my emotions. And that's another thing that we can have an attachment to, is our emotions. I always say the biggest issue we have in life is the fact that we do not think we should have issues. That is crazy, because issues are going to happen. Like literally the only people on this planet who don't have issues live in a graveyard, because being alive means we have issues, right? So, if we are attached to being happy all the time, being comfortable all the time, like it's going to be really hard because we're attached to something. If we can say, you know what, fuck it. I know life is kind of a wild ride. I know it's going to be a little crazy. But if I can just accept that life isn't going to be perfect every single day, then how can we be disappointed? If we don't have an expectation that life is going to be serving us this convenience all the time, then when it's inconvenient, we're going to be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's realistic. I can't expect life to go my way every single minute of every single day. That's ludicrous. So when we release our attachment, when we can just throw caution to the wind a little and expect a little shit is going to happen in our lives, we can just embrace it a little more. And that doesn't mean it's not going to be uncomfortable, and you need to honor your emotions. But what I'm saying is accept your emotions. If you are feeling sad or mad or whatever, like if we're happy, we have no problems accepting it. Fuck yeah, I'm happy. I'm going to tell the whole world. But if you're hurting, if you're feeling vulnerable or scared, it's harder to communicate that. And when you can just embrace it, like, yeah, I'm feeling really scared right now, that also opens up an opportunity for you to reach out and get that loving connection that we need as a basic human need. So accept that shit will happen. And I've got 3 questions to help you accept, because I know you're going to say like, no, I'm not accepting this. Like my mom has cancer. How am I supposed to accept that? Okay, I get it. It's not fair. And a lot of times we don't get what we deserve. We get what we tolerate sometimes, but life isn't going to be fair every single day. It's not. Life's not fair. But is that a good reason to be miserable? Because we can't control the outcomes. Like life isn't happening to us, it's happening. And we have this active role in how we want to react. How do we want to view it? And when we can accept that shit's going to happen, and when it inevitably happens, we can ask ourselves, well, where's the good in it? What can I learn from it? How can I be happy about this? Or because a lot of times things happen, and rather than just fighting it, if it can just happen and you could just be like, yeah, I'm really upset about this, and process it in a healthy way and accept that emotion, it doesn't last as long. We're not suffering because we're not attached to things. We're just letting it go. Like life is very easy for people who have no preference. And of course, that's way easier said than done, of course, but it's just a thought. Now, 3 questions you can ask yourself when something's happening and you do not want to accept it. Can I change this? That's a really great question to ask, because if the answer is no, you cannot change something, let that shit go. Because if you can't change it, you're literally just burning energy for the shit of it, like just for fun. And there's absolutely no need in that. So just exactly, Corrine, let yourself feel, because it's okay to feel 100%. It's okay to not be okay all the time. Like we need to let that happen. Let go or be dragged. I love it. It's so true. Let go or be dragged. So can I change this? If the answer is no, let that shit go. It even rhymes. Like I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Second question, will this matter a year from now? This was my mantra for 3 friggin' years, because I'm stubborn and I don't like to let shit go. And it's like, okay, my mom actually gave me this advice. Will this even matter a year from now? Because when you think of all the crazy things, when I think what's happened in a year, over the last year, my husband was diagnosed with cancer. He's fine now. Disclaimer. I was involved in Canada's worst natural disaster, a wildfire that ripped through my town. I lost two very important members of my family. Like, really traumatic shit has happened in the past year. And yet I'm like good. And that doesn't make those things less traumatic, but like I'm not devastated right now by those things because time has passed. So if I can get through Canada's worst natural disaster, then really maybe you could just let go of the fact that you got a speeding ticket this morning. Maybe it's not going to matter a year from now. So why not just get back on the happy train and like live life? Because again, you're renting out this present moment to the past, that ticket. Not worth it. Okay? So the third question is, how can I accept this? And a lot of times looking for acceptance, you need to just look for gratitude. That is the great like multiplier of goodness. Is Brendon Burchard says that joy is the jewel of life and gratitude is the goal. So if like, and obviously like think about a piece of jewelry, right? You've got your gem and then you've got gold holding it in place. So you want joy, that starts with gratitude. Gratitude holds that shit tight and it keeps it with you. So even when things aren't going the way that we necessarily want them to, we can think about gratitude. We can be grateful for the things that aren't going crazy. Like if life's a three-ring shit show, well, what's not a three-ring shit show, right? And just ask yourself that, like, what's going on? And what can I be grateful for? What is beautiful? And if you ever have a hard time thinking of something that you can be grateful for, check your pulse. Because if that bitch is beating, you've got something very, very, very valuable to be grateful for. Okay? So I want you guys to just like think about that. Is what are some things that you guys can let go? And I mean, forgiveness obviously is a huge one. We can hold on to that resentment forever. And that resentment is only hurting us. So there's resentment, there's expectations we can let go of. There's a lot of things that we can let go of that might be uncomfortable, but they're going to pay huge dividends in your happiness. So back to secret number 2, which I skipped, is being habitually happy. Okay, so super happy people are, it's not an accident that super happy people are happy all the time. It's a habit because we are only as good as our habits. And so it's kind of time to get real and raw with yourself because you know the habits you do that aren't making you happy. And I mean, it's like easy to say like, yeah, smoking's a bad habit. But what about constantly worrying or viewing things negatively? Or like, think about it for a second. Like, what are your habits like? Because it's even time allocation, really. Like when we talk about growth and that being a basic human need, if we get home from work and we sit down on the couch and we watch TV for 4 hours eating chips, maybe that's a disempowering use of that time when you could be, or even if you want to sit on the couch and watch something like, watch a documentary, watch something inspiring, watch a success story. Like it's all about our habits and we're literally only as good as our habits. And like, I'm going to take that as my cue to drink some water. Who's got water? Here's a quiz. Who's got water? I'd like to know. And if you have water, guzzle. So when we talk about habits, yeah, water, water people. So when we talk about habits, physical habits, obviously worry and stuff, that's a problem. I mean, the looks I get because I carry around a giant water bottle is obscene. We're made of water. Like, I don't think people get how much water we're made of. Doctor, you could probably quote me. I'm guessing 85%, but you quote me. I know you're a psychologist, but I feel like you're the doctor in the house. So we're made of water. Drink more water. And like, did you know that so everyone knows what serotonin is, right? We know what serotonin, okay, 98% water, even more water. It's crazy. So serotonin is our happiness hormone. That's one of our hormones in our brain that makes us very happy. Now, did you know, and correct me if I'm wrong, doctor, I have heard the stats in a documentary, who knows, that like 90% of our serotonin is actually made in our gut. So when you think about how much of our happiness hormone is made in our gut, you've got to think about our diet. And I'm not talking about a diet to lose weight. I'm talking about a diet for happiness. Like if you're eating junk food all the time, there's a reason you feel bogged down and shitty. You are what you eat. If you eat like shit, you feel like shit. basic, but we don't take that seriously. And even I notice, like, if if I'm on vacation and I'm eating like a maniac, which I do sometimes, I'll start feeling sluggish and depressed and like just uncomfortable. And then it's like, I'll go have a few juices and some salads and it's like, whoop, I'm back. So our habits affect us, not only mentally, but obviously like in our physiology. Like our body makes our happiness. We are a happiness power plant. And if we are bogging our system down with poor food, poor habits, stuff like that, our power plant's not going to be running very effectively. So just think about your habits, think about what you need to change, because the thing is nature abhors a vacuum. So we can't just say, I'm going to quit smoking, because that's a great idea, but you need to replace it with something. We need to replace our bad habits with good habits, or our disempowering habits with empowering habits. Very important. So just throwing it out there. You guys think about it. It's your habits. You know what you got to do. Now, secret number 4 of super happy people. Happy people don't get happy on accident. They have what I like to call clarity. Now, we have so many rules in life, so many ways that we can fail in a day. Would you guys agree? Like if you're on a diet, there's all these things that you could do to completely sabotage your diet. But do you ever define how to win? So when we're going through life, we're doing all our crazy stuff. It's insane. We're doing all this stuff. When have you ever really taken a second to think about like a happy life? What does that look like for you? Because we talk about like keeping up with the Joneses or whatever. But the thing is who the hell knows what the Joneses are doing, or even if that's what we want? Like keeping up with the Joneses implies that there's one template for happiness. And we are all completely bio-individuals. We all have our own needs, our wants, priorities of our needs and wants. We have our own idea of happiness. And so I'm going to give you guys like a minute. I want you to close your eyes and just define your happiness template. What does happiness look like for you? Now, you guys close your eyes. I'm going to ask a few questions. I want you guys to just visualize. I want you to feel it. Like, make it tangible. Get present in that moment. Our prefrontal cortex does not know the difference between something that is real and something that is vividly imagined. So I want you to vividly imagine your happiest life. What would it look like? Who is there? Who, how are they treating you? How do you feel? What does it look like? Where do you live? What's your financial situation? How big is your smile? How happy are you? How healthy are you? Like, define what your happiness looks like. How do you get to win? What's a win for you? Just think about that and continue to think about it, because it can change. But if we're not clear on what happiness really looks like, how are we ever going to get there? It's like a GPS. Like if you're just holding a GPS system and you never put the coordinates in, you're never going to get anywhere. So take this moment and like just think about it. Think about what happiness looks like for you. And now you have an idea of where you need to go. So another thing just to be mindful of is like, we spend so much of our time bitching. We are like, I don't like this, I don't like that. Like right now, if I were to get you to list a perfect partner, for example, if I said, write down all the features of what you want in a partner, you might be able to come up with some stuff. But if I asked you right now to list down the things that you do not want in a partner, you could write me a novel. It's so easy to define those things that you don't want, but then you miss defining what you actually do want. So I just want you guys conscious of that and thinking about it, because it's important. So secret number 4 meshes in perfectly. At first, did everyone do that? And were you able to visualize? I'm taking a second here. I'm taking a side swipe. Were you guys able to figure that out? Like to get your happiness idea? Could you feel it? Like, was it real? You did. Okay, perfect. Yeah, like it's important. Like, don't just think about it, like live it. And this is the thing. You can really feel things. Like when we were thinking about our favorite moments, like I got goosebumps, like I was there. And you can have that happy moment and you can just escape there and start analyzing it and really figuring it out what it is. That's awesome, Kareen. Already living it now. Freaking fantastic. Now, secret number 5 of super happy people. Now, very similar to clarity, but it's the next level. We're leveling up. Super happy people have a happiness blueprint, okay? So if we are building a house, nobody builds a house without a blueprint. Like, you don't just go to the lumber store and pick up some lumber and like, let's just put a house together. You need a blueprint, you need a plan. And the problem with the plan is most of us don't have clarity on what our happiness really looks like what would really make you happy. And I hope you didn't just say Alexis, because that might hype you up for a little while, but we're going to need to go a little deeper than that. So with our happiness blueprint, you guys already have that picture now. We've already done the visualization of your happiness. So if you were to take a look at that happiness, so like say you take like a little snapshot in your brain, here's my happiness that I vividly imagined, and here is my reality. So you have these 2 different pictures. What's the difference? So it's like literally just writing down, like, this is what I want, and write it all down. Get specific, make a wish list. Like you're a little kid on Christmas Eve. Like a little kid on Christmas Eve, they didn't give a shit about budget. They wanted everything at a pony. And when you guys make that wish list for your happiness, don't sell yourself short. You deserve everything and more. So get into it, write it all down. And then what do you have today that is different from that? And when you can, and this is the thing, it's not about realizing how shitty your real life is. It's about connecting the dots. It's about saying, well, I want this and I have this. So what's that gap and how can I close the gap? What can you do to close that gap? So I want you guys thinking about this, because it's like, you wouldn't build a house without a plan, so why would you build your future without a plan? It's about getting clear on what you really truly want in life, comparing it to what you have, and this is the thing about your reality. Get honest with yourself. So do not make it worse than it is and say, oh, my life's fucked, this is a mess, but also don't make it better than it is. Don't say, no, it's good enough. Because like someone who watches a webinar like this, you guys aren't after a mediocre life. You're after something magical, or you wouldn't have signed up for this. You wouldn't be spending this hour with me, rocking it out, learning about happiness. I know that much about you. I don't know a ton about you, but I know that for sure. You're not here to settle for mediocre. There's no way. So I want you guys to think about that and maybe have like a little powwow with yourself, maybe right after this webinar, and just write down like, what do I really want out of life? What would make me happy? What contrast between where I am now and where I want to be would make me really happy? And what can I do today about it? Because the thing about goals is if you say, yeah, I want to change this, and you don't take radical action today, it's not going to happen. Because if you don't do something today, you're not going to do something tomorrow. There's just no way. So it doesn't have to be anything big. Literally, your action tonight could be as simple as putting a reminder in your phone after the webinar, because you know your phone's supposed to be off. Put a reminder in your webinar, or in your phone, saying, must create happiness blueprint and schedule it for tomorrow. That is an action. It doesn't have to be massive. And this is the thing about changing your life. We think it's all about like these massive steps and this massive action. And massive action is great, but it's maybe not as sustainable. What we need, like Bruce Lee said, that long-term consistency trumps short-term intensity. So if you've ever been on a diet and you're like, yeah, and you're like, boom, out the gate, and you're just crushing it, and then you're super deprived, and then you binge eat, and then it's a total mess. Whereas if you were to make a small change every single day and like just master a little thing and be mad consistent with that, you would crush it. So it's not necessarily about massive action all the time. It's about being consistent, committing to little things that you know will transform your happiness, that will make you more present, that will help you be habitually happy, that will help you accept things. that will give you clarity. Taking those little things, making a blueprint. Yeah, a wish board. Oh my God, I love wish boards. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, make a dream board or whatever it is for you. And like, I actually love that idea. I never thought of that. Making a dream board, like visualizing your happy place. Okay, so what's a wish dream board? You know what? I'll show you at the end of the event. I will show you my own dream boards. But what it is basically is you get like a big piece of poster paper, and then you think of all the things that you want out of life. And like I go through like magazines, or you can go on Google and search different things and cut them out. And then you put them on the dream board, and then you hang it somewhere where you see it all the time. So every single day you walk by it and you're reminded of all the things that you want. It's super powerful. It helps you manifest those things, and it just keeps it in your psyche. So like every single day, it's like, that's what I want. So I need to take bold action in that direction, because every single thing that we do is either getting us closer to our goals or is taking us further away. And if you ask yourself that question enough, it's very clear what's going on. So definitely a dream board would be huge, but take some action tonight. That is my challenge for you. And you better believe I'm going to be following up with you guys. So doesn't have to be big. If you literally just schedule something for the weekend in your phone and follow through on that, that's an action. It doesn't have to be massive, just has to be action tonight, okay? If you're serious about it, that's what's gonna happen. So by comparing our dream, happy, perfect, amazing life, which by the way, will never be perfect because life's not perfect, we accept that. When we compare that to our reality, we can come up with the difference and we reverse engineer from that. So what I mean by that is you see this, if I want this shredded body, what is it going to take for me to get there? You reverse engineer it. So you go backwards. Okay, if I want this, I'm going to need to start eating a little healthier. I'm going to have to work out 3 times a week. I'm going to have to stop eating a dozen cookies, right? So yeah, so that's exactly it. So that's what we need. We need consistency, then that clarity. What can we do every single day? It doesn't have to be massive action, just consistent small actions. Okay, and we need to take action now. So this is really exciting. So if you're writing it down, right, we know secret number 1 is, oh, I missed it. Nope, there it is. Being present, being habitually happy, making sure those habits are tight and good. We need to make sure we have clarity. We need to make sure that we are accepting things, even especially if we don't enjoy them. And we need to have that happiness blueprint. Now, you guys, I'm hoping you guys are all here. I'm going to be doing a giveaway. So I didn't even tell you guys what the giveaway is. And you guys have just been hanging out with me, even though I didn't even tell you about the giveaway. You guys are amazing. Someone just said some actor wrote a $1 million check to himself before he started acting. Absolutely. Jim Carrey wrote a $10 million check, and I was like a month before it expired, like to his date, he got the $10 million being on Dumb and Dumber. So the giveaway I'm going to be doing, I'm super excited. I just want to do one big giveaway rather than a bunch. I'm sorry, you guys. This is what I want to do. I want to do like a hot mess love package, okay? So first thing I'm going to be giving away, this is so exciting for me. I'm such a nerd, but I have these mugs. And by the way, the giveaway is only for registered people. So if you're watching on Facebook, sorry. But so I have these mugs, Self-Love Soldier mugs. And they're so cute. And you guys are going to die. Look at this. I meditate. I burn candles. I drink green tea. And I still want to smack some people. Because it's the truth. So I'm going to be giving you one of these mugs. And these are the very first ever prints of the Self-Love Soldier mugs. So yeah, it is my tattoo. I know. How original. So I'm going to be giving away a mug, a copy of Confessions of an Ex-Hot Mess, and I will sign it and graffiti all over it and send you a love note in there, right? So that's perfect. I love that someone's drinking green tea right now. Hopefully you win. And then I'm going to pick out some healing crystals for you. I'm going to ask you some questions about your journey, and I'm going to hand pick you some healing crystals that will help you in your journey. And just in case that wasn't enough, I'm going to do a 1-hour life coaching session with you on Zoom. So we're going to have a conversation like this, just you and me. going to be fierce. So I wear crystals in your bra. That's fantastic. I just wear them everywhere. So I am going to be doing a giveaway. It's going to be the mug, the book, an hour talk with me, and some healing crystals. I'm going to ship that to your house. It's going to be awesome. So bear with me. That's right at the end. So we've got like another 10, 15 minutes. So before we do the giveaway, I just wanted to quickly tell you guys something because I am moved to tears. I'm so excited. First, have you guys been enjoying this webinar? Like, are we having a good time? Are you guys learning stuff and it's like valuable to you? Yes. Okay. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you. That's so awesome. Okay. So if you enjoyed this webinar, I am launching a program that starts next week. So this time next week. And it's going to be the same thing. You're going to get all the replays. But what I'm doing is a 4-week journey to joy. So it's called, this is fabulous, Hot Mess to Happiness. So it is going to be so freaking awesome. I have 4 modules made up. So every single week, we're going to do a live talk like this. It's going to be like a group chat, just like this one, right? And it's absolutely incredible. So you're going to sign up for this course. And when you get the course, you're going to get instant access to the modules. So each week you get a new module. So the first week is mastering your mindset. We're going deep into your psychology. We're going to start it's freaking amazing. I've been working on this for months. It's going to be magical. So the first week, we're mastering your mindset. The second week, we are revamping your relationships. So we're doing a forgiveness workshop. I'm going to be doing a live talk with my husband, doing a live Q&A. It's going to be hysterical. Like, any questions you guys have, it's going to get crazy. The third week, we're working on being habitually happy. I have a meditation module in there. I'm going to teach you how to do EFT tapping, which you need to Google. It's incredible. And then after that, week 4, I legit have goosebumps. I'm so fucking fired up. Week 4 is going to be finding your life's purpose. That is a really, really big statement, and I'm going to deliver. Like, if you guys enjoyed this webinar, I gave you guys a lot. You have no idea what's about to happen in this course. Like, I am going all out. I'm giving you guys everything that I have over the last decade that I have learned in personal development. I'm going to give you in 4 weeks. You're going to get rocked. And so every week we're going to do a live talk. And then every week you get access to the next module, and there's like videos, there's blogs, there's free downloads, and there's like these freaking amazing workbooks. Like, it's going to be really, really cool. And you guys are going to just absolutely love it. So what I'll do, I'll send you guys an email tonight with the link to that course, Hot Mess to Happiness. It's a 4-week journey to joy. All I can tell you is that you can't even fathom the impact that this is going to have, because it's going to be this webinar, this style of communication. So if you've got questions, there's going to be comments. I'm going to be checking the comments. We're going to be having a conversation for 4 weeks, and it's just going to be like pump up every week and then slamming you with like self-help goodness. It's going to be so much fun, you guys. I can't even boast about it enough. I'm so proud to offer it to you. So it's going to be like massive savings because I legit just want you guys to be there. Like, I would just keep doing everything for free if it was my choice. I'm so bad, but a girl's got to pay her bills. I'm sorry. So I'm going to send you guys that email tonight. It's going to give you the code and the link to purchase if you want to join me. And I do have a payment plan. Like I said, I just want you guys to be there. Simply, I just want you guys to be there. So I've got a 3-month payment program. If that's easier for you, I just want you there. Okay? Enough of that. I need you guys to know, because it's going to be this times infinity. And I really believe that you guys are going to love it. Okay. So that being said, let's get to the giveaway. Okay. I'm just going to scroll. This is how I'm going to do it. This is like ridiculous. I wish I have a giant hat, but it's just too much. There's too many people here. We sold out, you guys. I'm so grateful for you. Okay, let's go right here. Who is this? Jayan. Jayan, are you here? Jayan? There you are, Jayan. You won. You won here. Yay, Jayan. You win. You win. Yeah, so Diane, you win the mug, the book, time with me, and some healing crystals. So I'm really, really excited. I will send you an email. Okay, wonderful. Texas, yeah, girl. Of course you would get the giant package from Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, even the Hot Mess Care packages. Now, I truly hope you guys have enjoyed this talk. I have enjoyed it so much more than I even thought possible. I know I like to talk, but like I thought it might be weird talking to a computer by myself. But what I wanted to do is just open it up to you guys. For as long as you guys need me, I want you guys to be able to ask me some questions and just see kind of like what's going on. So I'm going to open up my Q&A. And if you guys have any questions, I'm all ears. What do you guys want to know? Oh, actually, maybe what I'll do as well, if you guys will give me 2 seconds, I will also open up my Facebook because I have no idea what's been going on Facebook. And I'm so sorry, you guys. I've been very neglectful. Chantel wants to know where is Stu. Stu is locked up right now because Stu was being a little terror. Okay, so my book, Confessions of an Ex-Hot Mess, there's a couple options for confessions. Just give me 1 second. I just want to open up Facebook here. I'm sorry I've been very neglectful, you guys. I really, truly am. Let me just see here. Okay, just want to make sure if you guys have any questions, that I'm here for you. Okay. Oh, wait, no, wait. No, I can't have any volume now. Okay. Oh, God. I can hear myself. Okay, perfect. I'm back. So someone was asking about my book and Confessions of an Ex-Hot Mess. It's not available in Chapters in the store, but it is available on Chapters online. So I normally tell people 2 options for getting the book. First is my website. So it's also available on Amazon, which I know ships everywhere across the world. So Amazon's always a really good choice, Confessions of an Ex-Hot Mess. But the thing about my website is it's the exact same price as Amazon. And I'll include that link in my email today. But the book on my website is the exact same price as Amazon, but you get it personalized. I write you like a little love note inside. As you can tell, this one's got to go out. I write you a little love note inside, and then I ship it to you. So you get like a personalized version from me, or you could just order it from Amazon, which both are totally good options, but I'm just saying. I love writing you guys love notes. I like walking to the mailbox and shipping it to you. I don't know. It's just kind of nostalgic, I guess. So, okay. Nanu asks me, I guess I could do these. I could probably answer these a little more anonymously. Okay. So this question says, how long did it take you to accept yourself and want to be this happy? Because I want to be as energetic and happy as you, or even more. I love the even more because I'm like kind of a competitive beast myself. Okay, so I would say start to finish. I started my self-help journey, I would say like 2011. I got serious about it in 2013. So I was really still stuck in my old stories. But I would say probably 2013, I started crushing it really, really hard. My book came out in 2015, so I was able to get my shit together enough to write a self-help book, which is great. So accepting myself, honest truth, maybe 6 months ago. That has been a really, really tough one for me. I grew up with a very specific idea of who I had to be and how I had to be lovable. And that was a really, really hard thing for me to let go of. That was probably the last piece of the puzzle for me, was really truly looking in the mirror and saying, I love and accept you exactly as you are, and you don't have to be perfect because you're good enough even when you're imperfect. So I'd say acceptance has probably been maybe 6 months. I started my journey in 2013. And yeah, it's really cool. So the energy that you guys feel for me is because I'm just fired up. Like I am very grateful I wouldn't say I'm necessarily the happiest person. I'm the most grateful person. I get really excited about things, like almost to an obnoxious point. Like I was running around my workplace today just being a maniac because I love life. And that comes, loving your life comes from loving yourself. Because when you are not your own best friend, life is not your best friend. It can be a struggle because you always have that enemy within, and people can leave you, but you never ever leave yourself. And that's so important. So self-love is so huge. And you guys know we're going to be talking about self-love in massive detail in my course, Hot Mess to Happiness. It's an entire module. It's very important. I would say that's probably my biggest contributing factor for my personal transformation was self-love, but it was just going to take way too much time. I could do this whole 1 hour talk on self-love. So yeah, that energy comes from loving yourself and embracing life, even when it is a total shit show. Because I don't know, I think having a sense of humor is huge in life, because life is a huge fucking joke some days, to be honest. And the things that happen are just unbelievable. So yeah, having a good sense of humor, learning to laugh at things, loving yourself, loving life, embracing all of it, the shit, all of it, you'll be good. Nanu, you got this shit. I adore you. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for coming. I love you on Instagram. Okay, do I do personal sessions? Yes, I am going to be opening up life coaching sessions. So what I'll do, I've got you guys on the email list, and I will open up something on my page, because I am doing life coaching right now with clients where we do weekly talks. So I will open that up to you guys, because I feel called to do it, and I really love to do it. It's so much fun. It's really fun. And yeah, so that's amazing. Thank you for asking. I will definitely be sending you guys an email about that 100%. Okay, can we see your dream board? Yes, you can. Give me like 2 seconds. I will get it. And I have two. So, and this is kind of like the neat thing about dream boards is you sort of see your own growth. You see how you've changed, which is really cool. So I'm going to bring both because it's kind of funny. Sorry, just ripping it down here. Okay. So here I am. Okay, so this is like kind of funny. So I think that like your dream board can be anything. And me personally, I've never ever shown my dream board. So this is like kind of exclusive, but fuck it. Here we are. So my original dream board, and I kind of like was putting things on top. But for me, the most important thing, I just wanted to know how to love myself. Like I couldn't love myself at all. So I had this little session here where I just wanted to love myself. And at the time I was a bikini competitor, so I wanted to be that. And I wanted to have a nice house by the water. And I wanted to be a best-selling author. And I wanted to be zen. Like when I made my first dream board, I was still very much a hot mess, like very much a hot mess. So it's kind of neat though to like, you know, see some things. And my relationship was kind of a mess at that time. And so I had like these little relationship things because I really wanted my relationship to be better, but I knew that I needed a better relationship with myself. So that's my original dream board. And I'll continue to make them. They're really, really fun. So this one, I have a little blank space. I'm not sure what I'm going to put there yet. But so this one's like, you know, I'm kind of like an author now. And I want to be on some book cover or like some magazine covers. And I want to be like having a seminar that big, or like have people that want my book and best-selling author. And maybe I actually photoshopped. This isn't stuff. I photoshopped my book onto Oprah's book club. Like I love my dream boards. So it's more like business related because I kind of have a better grasp of my personal life. So your dream boards sort of evolve with you, which is really cool. And it's like really fun because like the fact that I've covered up a lot of the bikini girls that were on my original dream board, but that was like all I wanted was goods to steal. So, so that's really funny. Thank you for reminding me about the dream board. Somebody's asking me if I am religious, and I would definitely say the answer is no, I'm not religious. For starters, I'm bisexual. So that's like right off the bat a problem, I guess, for a lot of religions. But for me, I believe in a lot of the messages in religion, in the fact of like loving people, don't be an asshole. Obviously, I make my own commandments with swear words. Like, I think principles of a lot of religions are good, like just be a good person, but I'm not a fan of segregation. I think that if everyone's religion was just love and being a good person and spreading good vibes and just being a kind, loving human being who treats other people with compassion and treating other people how you want to be treated, if that was reality, I think that the world would be such a better place. So I am spiritual, obviously. I love meditation. I love, if I were religious, maybe I would be like a Buddhist or something. I really like a lot of the principles in Buddhism. But I like Taoism. I like a lot of stuff. And my husband actually gives me a really hard time because the next question is, did I base my tattoo on the tapestry behind me? So, and why those two are connected is my husband gives me a really hard time because I have quite a few tattoos and he says that they kind of contradict each other because I have like the serenity prayer on my ribs, which is like, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So it's sort of like religious, but then I have like, a mandala, which is a Buddhist symbol. And then I've got sacred geometry. So to answer your question, I didn't actually make this design. This is the flower of life, which is sacred geometry. So for me, it just represents the interconnectedness of people, which was really important to me at the time and is still very important. But yeah, I bought this after my tattoo. And like, now I buy lots of stuff that kind of has that, I guess. I don't know. And like this ring, like this is the seed of life, which kind of looks like my tattoo. So I guess now I match things to my tattoo, including our logo. So, and Self-Love Soldier, if you guys haven't joined, is just a really awesome side project I'm working on, which is incredible. Okay, guys, I would say then that this has been incredible. I am so grateful. Last chance, any more questions? I'm just so incredibly grateful for you guys. So I will send you guys an email with the link for our Hot Mess to Happiness course, which I know is going to be life altering. It's going to be so powerful for you guys. And I will also send a follow-up regarding my coaching services. If you guys just want to do more of this one-on-one, I would love to do that and be a part of that with you. So I cannot thank you enough for being here for yourself. For me, I didn't want to be here by myself, and for your beautiful future, because you guys deserve it. And I really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, I hope that you guys have benefit and that you feel like you can be super friggin' happy, because that's what you deserve. You deserve to be so friggin' happy. And yeah, so if there's ever anything that I can do for you guys, please don't be a stranger. Message me, let me know what's going on. And I'm just looking at your guys' comments. You're seriously way, way, way too sweet. And when I say that I love you guys, I mean it. And if you are ever feeling alone in life, if life is ever dark for you and you feel alone, know that you're not. Okay? There's people out there that love you, and I love you, and I've never even met you, but I feel your vibe. I read your comments. I see you guys on my Instagram, my Facebook. I get emails from you. Like, I love you and I give a shit about you. So never feel alone. Know that I'm here, and where I am, there's lots of other people that give a shit about you. You're magnificent. So you guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Be happy, be well, and shine that weird light. Mwah. I love you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.